welcome back to another edition of Devout Deism. I am David Robertson. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. And thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the comments, all the emails. It is greatly appreciated. Speaking of comments, though, recently I had a comment from somebody who was talking about, well, I should say commented on one of my videos. And the comment was more or less to the idea that in deism, there are no mentors, there are no teachers, there are no donations, things of that nature. I mean, it was blatant, I guess, but misguided, I think, in a lot of ways, too. And what's really cool about this, and I believe this in my heart, is that people are starting to figure it out. For a long time, that has been true. There haven't been teachers. I wrote a paper, or I should say an article or a document, or however you want to look at that, on the Unified Deism website called University of Reason. I highly encourage you to go read that because it talks about the necessity of teaching people anything. If you have an opportunity to relay information as a species, we're supposed to embrace that regardless of the topic. For instance, a road or a bridge is out, okay, and you have cars coming. We have an overwhelming need, even though these people don't concern us in the grand scheme of things. We have this overwhelming need to wave them down and share the information. The bridge is out, you might slow down. Even though they probably would have figured it out just like you did, we feel the need to share the information. However, it's always ironic to me because when we look at deism in general, most deists believe that, well, I wouldn't even say most, but I would say there are certain groups of deists that believe that they struggled trying to find deism, and so everybody else has to struggle too. So I did the University of Reason paper, a couple of other papers. I did some videos talking about the necessity of trying to teach others because it's the intellectually right thing to do, in my opinion. And then the World Union of Deists, Deism.com, put out a cartoon recently that I applaud them. I think that is great. And I'm not going to post it on the video because, you know, it's copyrighted by them, and you can go to their website, Deism.com, to check that out. But it was perfect. I mean, they summed up in a cartoon what I've been saying, you know, for years and years and years, and many words, and they did it with a simple cartoon. So I wanted to share that with you, because like I said, to me it was perfection. So try to imagine or visualize this. There's a car driving down the road, and the road down the way has a fork in it, and you can go left or right. To the left was deism, to the right was revealed religion, and to the left you would see the words, you know, surrounding deism that said reason, progress, peace, joy, etc. And to the right you saw revealed religion, and words around it that said religious violence, greed, fear, superstition, intolerance, etc. And I mean, it sums it up, right? Two different fields. You got deism and revealed religion, and all the things that come with both. And this car was veering off to revealed religion. And in the part, well, I guess in the front part of the cartoon, you see these two people, and they're looking at this car driving down the road. And the one says, you know, she's pointing at the car, and she says, I didn't tell them about deism. They need to find it out on their own. And the second guy's looking at her like, you're crazy. And says, but why? Isn't it too important not to tell them? And that's the thing. So if as deists we find ourselves to be intellectual, you know, of the mind mentality, then we have to use that mind. And a big part of that is kind of even looking through our own hypocrisy. And if we believe that freedom and reason and, well, I mean, I guess that goes into freedom too. Freedom of thought, progress, balance, fairness. You know, are we not negating fairness or balance or reason if we're saying, okay, we're not going to tell you about this, you have to find it out on your own? I think we are. And I understand there's a big difference between teaching those who are seeking the information and going out and trying to recruit. I'm not saying recruit. I never have. I think recruiting is simple. Well, it'd be dumb because, you know, I would say over 70% of the population, in great part, is not intellectual. Does not use their mind to the capacity it probably should, therefore would not be a good candidate for deism. But those who are good candidates should be shot, or should be shown, should be taught. I don't know. To me, it's basic. And maybe that's where we're starting to see too now a new divide when it comes to classical deism and modern deism, and what I believe is slowly starting to turn into something that I've called neo-deism, where new ideas and a new trek forward seems to be grasping. I mean, it's not always all-inclusive. It's not always the same. Once again, 100 different deists, 100 different forms of deism. But I do think that teaching is important, and I do think that sharing the information is important, especially if somebody's curious and asking about it. If somebody's asking about it and they're curious, they've obviously thought enough to ask you, because they know that that you might have some of those answers. And unless you're a hypocrite, I would say share, and share as much as you can. And if you can't share enough, then guide them to a website like unifieddeism.com or deism.com or what have you. It's in all of our better interests, honestly. And I guess if you have questions about that, hit me up, because I'll be sure to list them out. Just don't want to do it on today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to share that with you once again. I encourage you to go check that out. This has been another edition of Devout Deism. Thank you so much for being a part of the program.